4th, 2020 to order at 6 o'clock. Welcome, everybody. And let's go ahead and do roll call, please. Jessica?
Mayor Newport,
Here.
Councilor Cannon,
Yes.
Councilor Hinckley,
Here.
Councilor Lowe,
Here.
Councilor Palmer,
Here.
Councilor Studebaker, Councilor Wilson.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right. Welcome, everybody. And why don't you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and
and to the republic for which it stands,
one
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and
justice for all.
We're really getting better at that.
It sounds like a wedding. Repeat after
No,
me.
we're not.
All right. So we're going to open up the public input. And I guess we'll see, are there any agenda adjustments, corrections, or order changes? All right. Go ahead and attach any of our public input. All right. Bob Bruce, you have 2 to 5 minutes to share your update with council.
Can you make sure he starts with his address?
Yes, of course. Robert Bruce. I'm at 420 2nd Avenue in Gold Hill, of course. And my concern is the smoker at Buddy's gas station in its current location, which is a couple feet from my residence. It's constantly dumping smoke into my building, especially when it's being stoked up. And it's really at odd hours. Last night I was out there complaining at 12:30 at night. A raging fire going at a gas station. And, again, he starts up this morning at 8 o'clock. It's just plumes of smoke. I've talked several times with the owner, Logan Young, and his attitude towards the situation is it's almost arrogant at best. He thinks that I need to just get used to it or move. It's kind of odd, being that, wood burning smoke is a carcinogen, not unlike cigarettes, toxin. It shouldn't be in people's homes. So what I've done is I've weather sealed the front doors. I put packing blankets and I put plywood up over them. I don't know if you drive by, you see everything's papered up now because I'm trying to keep the smoke out of the building, and it's just not working. It's coming in the vents up in my attic space and somehow being just drawn down back into the living quarters, which is on the 2nd floor there. And I have smoke in my backyard. Sometimes there's ash falling. I've hired an attorney to take care of it. So, he really legally, the smoker cannot be there. Under Oregon law, I have civil rights as a property owner. There are nuisance laws where unreasonable invasions of a person's interest in the use and enjoyment of their personal property cannot be violated like this. There's also trespassing laws where unauthorized entry may not occur, whether it's in the form of particulates, fumes, smoke, or anything that's airborne. And I'm just curious. I'm not really sure. Did he get approval for a deli? Because what he's running is a smoker. I'm kind of asking city council to require that Buddy's find a new location. I don't have a problem with the deli or the gas station. It's just the location of the smoker. Because, I don't think it infringes on any property owner's rights to clean air. And it's really, it can't happen in the 21st century. You might as well, invite the Long Branch people to have cigarettes in my living room. It's, so I'm kind of just putting it out there. I don't want it to go to court because it's just going to be a long, drawn out thing. I'd rather resolve it, in the community. So that's pretty much it. I'm just curious. My biggest question is what was approved? Was a smoker approved there?
I would like to say one thing that this is a tenant landlord dispute. So whatever was in the contract, we don't have that contract.
Okay.
So I can't tell you what, and it was never brought before the council, but council don't get involved with tenant landlord squabbles like this. However, if it's that big of a
But
concern,
I'm not,
I think
I'm a property owner. I'm not even
One at a
yeah,
time, one at a time. Go ahead and finish, Ron.
He just said that he thinks he's gotten the right steps by getting an attorney. He just doesn't have any.
Well,
because what we're battling right now is just people smoking out, even at the city hall. I don't like seeing cigarette smoke, people smoking at the city hall. So, but I mean, and the business owners down there where you live don't like to see people standing in front of their business smoking cigarettes either. So this has been an ongoing battle. I'm not sure what you're asking us that you would like to see done.
well, I mean, he had to, didn't he go before city council to have the approval of a deli?
No,
He got a business license.
that's between him and Pete Newport.
He didn't come behind big city council.
You have to come to city council or city hall for a business license, but the contract, whether I don't know what that's between him and the landlord. So
I mean, so taking up like fire prevention or something. I mean, I was at a meeting about 6 weeks ago with the fire department, a few people about creating defensive spaces around homes and fire breaks east of town and stuff. And I've got a roaring fire 2 feet away from me. I mean, so the city can't do anything about that?
I spoke to him today, and he said that the fire marshal's been out there twice now and been approved, and there's nothing wrong. There's obviously that's not against our ordinances, and there's just not, he's not doing anything wrong. So there's not really anything.
Except that there is smoke in my building.
Well, that isn't. We don't have any ordinance. Like, there's nothing that we can do about it. That's something, like you said, if you got a lawyer and you want to put it that way, that's kind of the way you're. There's just nothing we can do. He's not doing anything wrong.
All right, Bob, you got 1 more minute. Anything else you'd like to share?
No, that's fine. Yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you. Good luck.
Signing off.
All right, Marvin, do we have
Okay.
any other public input? All right. Well, later in the agenda, we have kind of our overall fire topic, fire abatement, firework, revisit the smoke unit. So council can discuss that then. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. And for later on in the meeting, since I am involved with that, I will log off during that proposed smoke ordinance discussion. So I
Mayor,
don't-
if you just move to the waiting room, you don't have to log off. You'll just be removed from this specific discussion, and then we'll pull you back in once the discussion's done.
Okay, perfect. All right, then let's move on to item number 4, the public hearing. And so let's go ahead and open up the public hearing. And it's 6:09. And this is a hearing regarding an application for variance request asking for relief from standards found in the City of Gold Hill Municipal Code 17.76.100B1, property located on 6th Avenue, Gold Hill, Oregon. And so for this, we do have a procedure that we're going to follow. We're going to listen to planning Brian Nolan and testimony from the applicant and any public input, rebuttal.
And that's Ryan with the feedback. Ryan, can you mute your mic? Okay.
Yes.
All right. And so So at this time, we'll see if any of our council need to excuse themselves. If they have any conflict. Does anybody have any conflict in property?
What's the address of the property again? Up on 6?
Yeah, it's up on 6. I don't know if you know where.
It's directly behind, well, behind the Hanby basketball courts. It doesn't have an official street address yet, so it's a
Okay,
lot of
okay.
6.
It's the lot that Ed Miller has been trying to sell for years. Finally found a workaround about that work. That help?
Okay, this is a little 1.5 acre lot on the hillside.
Right.
So maybe if none of us have a conflict, go ahead and open it up. Brian Nolan, give it the skinny. Brian? Why
I
don't we do
spoke to
that
Ed Miller
after?
today. Interested in just Nelson.
Okay, we'll hear from Ryan on the planning staff report first.
Okay, are you ready for me, Mayor Newport?
Go ahead, Ryan. Thanks for your report.
You bet. So again, this is a variance request. The property was stated is on 6th Avenue. It doesn't have an address, but it's tax lot 1800. The owner is Ed Miller. The applicant is Nelson Davis. They're asking for a variance from the standard of section 17.16200B1, which requires that all manufactured homes be 1,000 square feet or larger. They're planning to place a manufactured home that would meet all of the other requirements. The only exception is the size. So when we look at our code, Gold Hill is fairly open in terms of variances. There's really some discretion for the council. It says that in accordance with the code, Gold Hill variances may be granted if the applicant shows that owing to the special and unusual circumstances related to the property, the literal application of the standards of the applicable land use district would create a hardship to development, which is peculiar to the lot size and shape, topography, sensitive circumstances. So in this case, the applicant is suggesting that the lot is narrow, 50 feet wide, and has some slope issues that would make it into place a larger manufactured home on the site. So with that, you can see the full staff report. I can read the whole thing if needed, but I think really what we're looking at is a variance request that has merit. Similar requests are coming up in other towns. Shady Cove recently passed one on a split decision. Rogue River was recently looking at one, but the applicant ended up withdrawing. So in conclusion, the variance appears to be an appropriate means of allowing the applicant to develop this property and creating limited detrimental impacts on the surrounding neighborhood. It's the opinion of staff, city council should approve the variance request, allowing a manufactured home to be placed on the subject lot, even though it's smaller than the minimum manufactured home size allowed by the municipal code. If the planning commission or city council is satisfied that the proposal meets the criteria or can meet the criteria, then staff suggests approving this application. And I'm able to answer any questions or try to if council has any.
How many square feet is the mobile home going to be?
Oh, yeah. Let's see.
I believe it's like 576 feet.
I have the plan in front of me. What I'm seeing is 546 square feet.
And
Is it
other
gonna be
than
a-
its size, is it a fairly standard, normal, up-to-date mobile home?
It is a mobile home that meets the HUD standards. It's not an RV or a park model.
Thank you.
The difference is the size, and I can't remember specifically, but it is 500 something square feet.
Is there going to be a garage also?
As part of the code, they do have garages and carports on neighboring properties, so they will have to build either a carport or garage.
Okay, thank you.
Brian, my question is, does the variance limit how lots can be used to build a larger home in the future?
So Gold Hills code states that you can't use a variance to allow any use that wouldn't be allowed. The use is still single family residential. So it doesn't set a precedent and it doesn't allow any use that wouldn't be otherwise allowed. It's a specific issue with the topography of this lot that is potentially leading to a verdict from the council allowing this particular placement of a manufactured home.
Brian, is the lot a 0.15 of an acre?
I think it's one of the standard, is it 50 by 100 feet? Trying to,
Probably.
I think that is the lot size, yes.
Ryan, I'm familiar with the lot. It is very skinny and very steep. And I can totally understand why, Ed has made this recommendation, this request. And if I understand what you're saying, they could build a stick-built home there of less than 1,000 square feet.
That's correct, but we have a specific size requirement for manufactured homes.
Mhm.
So is it still standard setbacks?
Yes, they would have to meet all of the setback requirements.
Ryan, does he plan on putting that mobile home on a foundation?
So in order to meet our code, it would have to be pit set on a foundation no higher than 16 inches above grade.
On that slope? That's not possible.
So that's the only thing they're asking a variance from. So they'd have to do some kind of excavation.
Right.
I'm not sure about the rest of it, but they're at this point only asking for a variance from the size.
Ryan, do you have any idea on what the comp is on that soil? How much he's going to have to dig out?
I do not.
Okay.
It would be substantial.
If he's going to put it on a foundation, that doesn't make it mobile residential. And if it's a new manufactured 2x6 frame, it would make it a residence, not a mobile home on a foundation.
Ron, can you repeat that again?
Ryan, can you mute your mic when someone else is talking?
Yes.
Causing feedback. Sorry.
Ron, try
Okay.
that.
Okay, what we need is more information. If this individual is going to put a manufactured home on that lot, but puts it on a foundation, and then that's a 2x6 framed exterior walls, that makes it a home. So my point is we don't have enough information. If he's just going to stick a mobile home on there and put skirting around it, you see what I'm saying? And then we're going to have to know what the excavation, how much dirt they're going to take out of there, so he can put that mobile home. Right now, I've been by that lot several times. There's just a lot of excavation that's got to take place.
Ron, I understand all those points and they're valid, but aren't those outside the scope of this request, which is just, can he place a smaller thing there? Once he actually starts wanting to build it, he'll need a site plan review and he'll need all those other things, which will have to pass muster.
I know, but what we're trying to do is find out what he's trying to make us change the ordinance itself.
Well, it's just a variance. We're not changing the ordinance. It's a one-time,
Need more information. I need more.
All right, Ryan, do you want to clarify any of that for us?
I would only state that Rob was correct that this is a request for a variance allowing a smaller mobile home than our code allows. If approved, they'll have to file a site plan review application, and then we would look at all of those issues. That doesn't mean the council couldn't ask for more information before making a decision, but there will be a second review process before they would be allowed to start construction or placement of the manufactured home.
A site plan through Jackson County or is it through Gold Hill?
The site plan review starts with the city and then would go to Jackson County for structural building review.
And I guess that's what I'm asking. Will Gold Hill have any review of that excavation? Because as steep as that lot is, that 16-inch foundation is probably going to be 6 feet or more on the backside to get it level and have that size foundation.
Gold Hill does have a requirement that in the steep slope section of town that they have a civil engineer provide I can't remember the name,
Okay.
but there would be a requirement for engineering of excavation.
So it's my understanding that this is just the beginning step before they can get an engineer in there to determine whether or not the foundation and the excavation can happen. They can't do that until we approve a variance.
They could do all of those things, but if they couldn't have a manufactured home of that size, they'd be looking at a totally different project. So I think that's why they're putting this request first.
Hey, Ryan, question. What does that do to appraised value of the neighbor's house?
It's a manufactured home, so the size, as long as it meets HUD standards, wouldn't be any different than 1,000 square foot factory. Of course, having a garage carport, being in a finished fashion, it would be the same as any other manufactured home with the garage or carport.
Except for it's half the size, correct? 543 instead of 1,000.
Correct. It probably wouldn't create a drastic difference in the actual value of the property from a 1,000 square foot manufactured home, but I don't know the specific numbers for that.
Any other questions for Ryan? All right, then let's move to applicant's testimony. The applicant on the line.
One moment, he's calling the applicant right now.
All right, so probably a good time for anybody to jot down notes and give Ryan arm next step. Good thoughts, Ron.
When's the next council meeting?
May 8th.
Say it again, Jessica.
May 18th.
May 18th. Okay.
Next budget. Well, he's getting patched in, letting our public, anybody listening, that we started our first budget committee tonight. Be working on that every week until it's done, and hopefully get it done on time. Just to anticipate having it council or for the public review on first council. Harvick, let us know. Do we have any other public agency reports, requests?
I'm sorry. What was that?
Is that Ryan? All right, Nelson Davis, we're reviewing your variance request. We just heard from Brian Nolan, our city planner, Darby Cog.
Right.
This is your opportunity to tell us what you're hoping to achieve, why you're doing it, and take questions from council.
Okay. Actually, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
yes.
Okay. Yes, I'm there. I'm on YouTube.
Yes, if you could please mute your YouTube stream.
Oh, I hear you. Okay. Is that
All right.
better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Davis, you have an opportunity to kind of
Yes.
tell your story, tell us what you're trying to achieve, and then we'll take questions. Then you can answer questions after all that.
Okay.
All right. Sure.
Actually, what we're trying. Am I ready?
Go
Yeah,
for
go.
it.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm attempting to do is put a 14 by 40 manufactured home on the site. It's a full residential package. It's a nice looking home. I believe it would be an upgrade to the area, not a downgrade. Certainly wouldn't hurt anybody's product. Inside and out, it's a very new standard. The site is number one for me. The price is right. Number two, it is a hard lot to build on. It even says that on the county records. But with the way it's cut right now, depending on what else might have to be done to it, I believe that by putting in a drive, we'd be able to get up there and set the house up there. The house would have a setback of 5 feet off both side property lines. Now, I believe that's north and south, which is what's required. The front is 20, so that's certainly not a problem. Beyond that, the biggest thing is whether or not you're going to approve a manufactured home on the lot.
Is it a brand new mobile home?
It was built in 2015. I bought it from the factory. It was built in McMinnville and shipped down here. Right now, it's sitting in Lazy Acres RV Park.
It's a pretty home. It's right on the edge of the river at Lazy Acre.
Yes, it is. Yes,
It's a beautiful little house.
it is a nice looking place. We were just attempting to sell it in place and go off and do something different, but the owners decided that they thought that this space was worth $700 a month when I started selling. So they pretty well killed it. I had it on the market for $69.5 and had it sold 4 times, but the price was always too high on the rent of the space. So that's where we're at, and that's why we decided to buy a piece of property if we could. That's
All right.
pretty much my deal.
All right. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Davis?
Yes, I do. Mr. Davis, did you get a price on the excavation? What's going to take to bring that
Not as
down?
of yet, no.
Okay.
No, not at this point. To look at it today, it doesn't look like it's all that bad. I think that maybe somebody's cut it a little deeper than what it was before, but I don't think it's a difficult spot at this point.
All right. Any other
That
questions?
answer.
Hopefully it's less than 700 a month.
Certainly.
Okay.
Anyway, I heard somebody say that this is just step 1 and then there's 2 and 3 or whatever. If this is a 90-day project, then I'm going to probably back out of it anyway, because that's just ridiculous.
All
You
right.
only meet once a month, and it takes everybody to make a decision.
All right. Any other
Ryan, could you spell out for Mr. Nelson what the next steps are so that he has an accurate timeline as to exactly how long it would take to from start to finish of this project? Because I think he thinks it's going to happen faster than, because he's saying if it's under 90 days, or if it's over 90 days, that he'll back out. So is the project from start to finish going to take longer than 90 days?
No, that's even too long. What? I guess the real question is, what do you
I can
what do you
address
want
that
from
too,
me
if
at this point?
Well, the real issue,
Did
Mr.
you hear me?
Nelson, is that you're going to need an engineer to look at the property in order to make sure whether or not you're going to be able to get the correct foundation onto that property. And that's where Councillor Palmer's concern is coming in, is that he believes there's going to be a lot more excavation, and that you're going to have engineer approval as well as county approval on those
Well, I
plans.
don't. I think an engineer would say, "What am I supposed to do here?"
Well, he's going to tell you what is required to get it past the county. That's what an engineer is going to do. He's going to give you a set of plans that will allow you to build it and pass all the codes required by Jackson County. And I don't know if you've done this before. Do you have an engineer?
No, I don't. Not at this point.
So maybe RV COG has one or knows of one, but I just know that this isn't a fast process. Going through the build process, engineering, they're gonna have a site plan like what Mr. Nolan was talking about, and then you're gonna have to do all of these processes. I don't think it can happen in 90 days. I could be wrong, but Ron, how about you? What's your view?
I just don't see it happening. Especially what he's talking about is a bigger deal than what he thinks. Obviously, but I don't see it happening.
Here, let me put my 2 cents worth in. Everybody says it's a nice looking unit. Uh, I, my feeling is the size of it doesn't bother me too much because we know how small the lot is. I don't have a problem approving this, but if he's in a 90-day time frame,
Okay, Tom, can I say something?
absolutely.
Excavation. If he had an engineer come in and give him a site plan, they could have that within 30 days. Have that excavated and foundation poured. Now we're looking at realistically. Now we're going to hook up the water and sewer. Comes next, and then all the power's got to be plumbed in. So, see where I'm going with this?
Actually, the water and sewer would need to be before the foundation. Typically,
You're
aren't
gonna
digging under the foundation to put in a sewer line.
Right, but it's right there on that street. Now, have you
Right.
talked to an engineer and get all the numbers for us? Can you make it within that time period? What you want?
Daniela,
I don't know.
Brian Nolan again.
Marvin's bringing it back in.
Okay, great. Because really, our role is to make sure all these concerns are out there, and then give Brian the tools, whether we permit to go forward or work plan. So, Brian, I don't know if you got all of those comments, but it sounds like engineering plan and permits. But is there another hearing for that? we approve or deny tonight, you guys started the project.
It looks like I got bumped out of the meeting momentarily, but to answer that question, Mayor Newport, this would be the only public hearing if the council made a decision. Typically, site plan reviews are done within a week in the city of Gold Hill. So if he came to us with a site plan, it depends on the excavation proposed, whether or not we need engineered plans. But so he's going to have a site plan that says where is the foundation, how much earth needs to be moved, and a plan of how it will be connected to water, sewer, and power. Once the city approves it, which again usually takes a week, then it would go to the county in order for him to get a building permit for the foundation, the electrical, and plumbing permits. So the county part may take a while, and if excavation and engineering are needed, he needs to get that done before we have a final site plan. But it's kind of up to the applicant how long the city's review takes.
Thank you.
Ryan, can you help Davis connect yours?
No, that's fine. I can figure that part out on my own. That's not a big deal.
Any further questions?
I'm wondering if
Not by
Ryan can
me.
I'm wondering if Ryan can spell out for us. So, with the COVID-19 issues that are going right now, there are a lot of services in the county, in cities that are delayed. So, right now, do we know how fast the county is moving on things like site plans?
The county is still operating. Their main office is closed to personal visits, but you can drop off plans and they're picked up just as they always were, and people are still doing on-site inspections. So if he needs to talk to the county, that may take longer because he'll have to arrange a phone conference call. But if he has somebody that helps him draw up plans, he can turn those in just like always in Medford, and they'll be reviewed and site visits are still taking place.
All right, Mr. Davis, do you have any follow-up remarks
Nope.
before we go to a vote?
No, not at all.
All right, council, any other caution warnings, questions for Ryan Nolan or David?
Just this would be a good use for the small piece of property. He's going to have to jump through a lot of hoops to get it done. I just don't see a problem with it if it's a nice looking unit like he says it is. I
Yeah,
think his
this is Rob.
foundation is going to be a little bit larger than what he's expecting. I just don't know what kind of expenses, but that's his deal.
Yeah.
Got to figure that out.
I agree with Tom. I think this is a great use for that property, and I appreciate somebody wanting to put a home on there because we've got so much infill that we need to take advantage of. And so I defer to Ryan. He obviously has looked at it. His recommendation is to approve it, and I don't generally second guess that. And the county will take a hard look at what this is being proposed. And if there's anything they don't like, they'll definitely make Mr. Davis aware. So I'm in favor.
All right, and Mr. Davis, hopefully you appreciate comments from Council Palmer and Council Can been in the industry for a long time. Hopefully it will help you.
Okay. Thank you much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no other
Bye.
public input or questions, I think we'll entertain a motion. Or I guess we need to close the public hearing,
Close the
right?
hearing.
Okay, so we're closing the public hearing unless any other questions. All right. Closing public hearing on item 4, the variance for request asking for standard City of Gold Hill Municipal Code 771 for the property located at 6th Avenue, Gold Hill, Oregon. And so now we can entertain a motion for
I make a motion that we approve. Somebody read out the number for me.
Variance 20-01.
20-01. for the zoning change.
It's a variance request approval.
Thank you.
Jessica, can you just read that back, reference it right?
Yeah. So what Tom wanted to say was that he makes a motion to approve the application for a variance of section 1716 200B1 on tax lot 1800 on 6th Avenue in Gold Hill. That covered all?
Yep, that
You
was
might want to
seconded by-
make sure you mention the variance number 21.
Yeah, it's variance number 2001. Yeah.
Right, and that was seconded by
Janet.
Janet. Okay. All right. Any further discussion?
I personally really think smaller houses are really cute. I don't see an aesthetic issue with it. I don't know much about building houses, and so I would like to ask Counselor Cannon and Counselor Palmer, is this reasonable? Can this be built correctly?
Oh, it can be built correctly, but I think really what he's gonna find out. I haven't been on site. I've seen this piece of property advertised forever. Um, he's gonna have to excavate a lot in order to. So what the county's probably gonna make him do is he's probably gonna have some kind of a retaining wall behind, and uh, I don't know how much he's gonna flatten this lot or how steep his driveway is gonna be. Hopefully, he thinks about all of those things when he's drawing his plans, because I'm going to say he hasn't even done his site review. Is that correct, Mr. Nolan? Anyhow, I'm going to say that
That's correct.
yeah, okay, so he hasn't done that, and he might find that this is too expensive to even go through. Um, but that's my 2 cents worth. I think he's going to find out how much he's really going to be into this project. It's not going to be a cheap project, but if the property is cheap enough, it'll pencil and work fine for him.
Yeah, and those are his concerns, not ours.
That is correct.
All right. Any other questions, comments? Right, Jessica, roll call.
Counselor Lowe,
Yes.
Counselor Hinckley,
Yes.
Counselor Palmer,
Yes.
Counselor Cannon,
Yes.
Counselor Wilson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, Brian, good luck. Hopefully you can guide him in the right direction. Good luck to David.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you, Mayor Newport and Council, and good luck in challenging times.
Thank you, Mr. Nolan.
Right on.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on. Next agenda item, which indicators. City recorder.
Looking for my notes, but what they say is not much has changed.
We've been focused on the budget.
Yes.
I think Rob's trying to get back.
Yes, I have been focused on the budget. That is the understatement of the meeting.
It was only 6 months of audits and then 3 weeks of.
I tell you though, I am quite familiar with every single transaction that has happened at this city in the last year. To the penny, I can tell you what has come in and what has gone out and where it's gone.
That's good.
Yeah.
We're getting somewhere. All right. So, want to skip that, or do you have any other recorder related up?
Nothing other than no, nothing.
Okay. We already gave an update that we started the budget process. We have our next budget next Monday at 6 o'clock, right? Want to city website, watch the video, and chat back. Is that right?
Yes, it is a noticed hearing, so if there's anyone from the public that wants to put in their 2 cents on how we should spend our 2 cents, they are welcome to appear to that.
Also, the input email is now in our about section on the YouTube page so that they can just email me. They can email me during meetings as well, and I have it up and we can add them in.
Awesome.
Order business, I got that set up. Okay, so start contributing funds that remind us remind us what funds transient lodging tax funds go to.
Sure. The majority of it, 45% of it goes towards the public safety fund. And the rest of it is split half and half between tourism and parks, and then 5% for administration.
Help.
So Pete just got that set up there last.
I'll start today. We had 25 cancellations,
Ooh,
so we did start getting
It shouldn't
bookings for this
have-
summer. What's that?
Shouldn't you have set it up a long time ago?
Probably should have. It took me a while to figure out how to do it through Airbnb. So for now, I'm all set up. Track it now.
on a similar subject, Jessica, are we getting cooperation from Lazy Acres?
We absolutely are.
Awesome, awesome, because that's clearly the biggest player. And hopefully, come summertime, they'll start getting some booking.
All right. Let's move on. Consent agenda. We've prioritized out the meeting minutes, get the budget and the audits caught up. So hopefully this month we have
Yes,
some.
I'll be able to catch them in.
All right. Great. Then old business, skipping over. We didn't put them on the agenda. We'll look at old business next. And the next meeting, May 8th day. So that takes us to new business. We have section 12, 12.1, fire abatement and fireworks. 12.2, discussion proposed smoking during last year. So I'll join you for the 12.1 and then I'll log off 12. So who would like to facilitate 12?
So I'll remind the council, in the absence of the mayor and the absence of the council president, you take a vote on who you want to be the council president to hold sway over the meeting until the mayor goes.
So we can do that at 12.2. Go ahead and get 12.1 out of the way. I think it's good. So we have this fire abatement and fireworks discussion. Got a lot of citizens ask about what we're doing, given that we had strong fire year. Folks, what are we doing around about fireworks, fire abatement today? And so we don't have particular agenda items, but it's kind of a brainstorm to get ready for next. Unless we'll have a strong feeling. Why don't we do a round table, starting with Daniela, input on.
Well, Jackson County Fire District 3 is offering us a biomass bin out in front of City Hall. That event is linked on the events page on the city website, which will allow people to clean out any kind of brush that they have on their property as well as wood. And there will be staff there manning that biomass bin to answer any questions that any citizens have while they're out there. My main concern at this point is most of the fire mitigation efforts, as far as cutting fire breaks and things like that. Councillor Studebaker was taking the lead, and I haven't heard any updates, obviously. And so I would say that next meeting, where he should be at that point, I believe, we might get more updates as to whether or not he's been in contact with people.
One thing I wanted to add about the biomass bin, I talked with the guy in charge of that today. They're also going to be bringing their trailer to the event. So if you have a bunch of wood at your house and no way to get it to City Hall, they'll bring the trailer over to your house and pick it up and come dump it for you. So they will be offering that service while they're here. And they put a flyer into the mail to everyone today, giving you all the details about it.
Jessica, where is this burn going to take place?
It's not a burn. They're bringing a bin.
Oh,
And
Ben. Okay, got
yeah,
it. Got it.
we're going to burn
And then
everything in the City Hall
they'll
parking
haul
lot.
it away.
We
Good.
did a walkthrough with a bunch of fire professionals early March, and they gave us a lot of recommendations. Then it counts then. And do you remember what the guidelines were? How many feet from the house, structures they'd like to figure it out?
I that offhand.
They
Remember,
told me
Ron?
100 feet. 100 feet.
Ideally,
And that was, we're talking everything that was in the red, that was total fire hazard up on the hill here, that they would like to see 100 feet. Flammable removed.
they also mentioned keeping stacks of wood away from the structure, gas cans. Remember any of the other detail? Keep a
I-
pool. Get a pool. Put a pool in your yard.
Yeah.
They said something about the weeds being so tall. I don't know what the measurement on. I think it's 10 inches.
Well, they will
They
have
can't-
somebody here, staff, so you can ask them all those questions.
Okay. And so we have a letter going out to all property owners, right? And did we do anything beyond this? We go out to the zip codes in right, or just city client have a water?
Yeah, it's city residents.
Right. Well, any other questions about fire abatement prep?
Tony,
Oh yeah.
for us. So they're going to be coming in this winter, and that's what came of Brad's them, and are going to be cleaning up, clearing the street, all out around.
Oh, that's great.
We have to
And,
get through this summer.
Yeah. Yeah, to get through the summer.
that's
And
great.
Janet, that wasn't going to necessarily be a burn. They're actually going to bring a chipper in. Is that correct? And chip the stuff?
They're bringing a crew in. I don't know what kind of equipment they're bringing. I talked to our own guy.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Hey, for citizen knowledge, what else are we doing in the city to control the fires? Last year, Tony did a bunch of great work. Trails opened up, that kind of thing. Anything else we're doing?
No, the main thing I'm working on is the firework. I'm
Good
trying
segue.
to craft something.
Well,
So
why don't we have a discussion on that? Give city manager input. Why don't we do a round robin on that? Kelly, you want to kick us off firework input from your constituents?
I haven't really heard anything from my constituents. I can give you my own personal experience. I grew up in a state where fireworks are illegal across the state. So the concept of having fireworks for 4th of July is still very new to me. I think since I moved to Oregon about 10 years ago, I've lit off fireworks once. So I don't see a big deal, and none of my constituents have really brought me anything.
Janet, your thoughts?
I think you can try to plan it, but I don't. I just don't know how. And maybe we could have an area, like a designated area, like they do it. I just know you can ban them. So I'm not sure. I understand everybody's.
well, I do hope that we're going to have the court running by then. So if we can actually ticket them, I mean, it may not do much to dissuade them this year, but it may stop them next year if they know that they will be ticketed for it.
And Ron?
I'm for banning it myself. It's just too brushy here. We have too much fuel in this area. We'd probably be looking at a paradise if fire did major fire broke out due to negligence.
But how would first Jessica? I mean, you could say it's going to get
Our code enforcement officer.
in. We'll have one person trying to drive around town.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's so hard to enforce it. It's a great concept, but
I actually really like Janet's idea. I mean, most people know I'm much more of a carrot rather than a stick kind of a person. And the idea of maybe having a designated spot with seeing if Jackson County Fire District might be willing to come and oversee that spot and giving people a spot to light off fireworks rather than restricting the use of fireworks may encourage people to actually do it appropriate.
Seems like they always go to the post office. A lot of people do.
And the gas.
In my
I think what we
neighborhood,
have to look at also is that this COVID-19 is how long is this going to run?
yeah.
And so if we have a central place to light off
Oh, yeah,
fireworks,
that's true.
now we have major groups
That's true.
Everybody join hands.
wearing masks and rubber.
Yeah, I'm perfectly good with the breach.
And
Yeah.
and Rob,
Yeah.
why don't you tell us your perspective?
Okay. From a liability perspective to the city, I think we should ban them. But I like Daniela's position of yes, let's ban them, but allocate, say, 2 locations in town where safe and legal fireworks can be set off. I think that way we're trying to be family friendly. If you want to go there and do sparklers and what are those ground flower things, but otherwise, the first time somebody sets off a big illegal one and starts a forest fire, you can bet somebody at some point is going to point the finger at the city saying you allowed. So I think we owe it to the city to at least make an attempt. And Janet's right; it's going to be very hard to enforce. But I think you start by saying, "Look, we live in an arid, tinder dry forest. Shooting a lot of hot stuff into the sky just doesn't make a lot of sense."
And when
So-
was it that the whole downtown burned? Remember when that was?
Oh, I think it was like 1918 or something like that.
Tom, any other thoughts? I don't know if you heard that, Tom. Do you have any other follow-up thoughts?
Well, the only thing that I'm going to say, sorry, Jessica, maybe we need to check with our insurance because if we ban them, maybe it would be a better thing for our insurance policy saying that we don't want to have the liability of it. I'm going to tell you right now, everybody here listening to this, you all know they're going to be going off and there's not going to be enough people to be able to stop it. So may as well just, ban fireworks, follow everybody else's lead, ban fireworks, maybe push them to some kind of a, whether Central Point or Ashland or Grants Pass has a fireworks display, Immigrant Lake, Lake of the Woods. I think insurance wise, I think we're safer banning.
Definitely.
Okay, well, it sounds like you're all in favor of banning, and I talked to someone from Fire District 3 today about it, so I know the steps I need to take, and I'm going to bring something before you.
Okay, thank you.
Jessica, what are your thoughts on allowing 1 or 2 safe areas? Think that opens Pandora's box, or is that a good?
Well,
Insurance liability.
yeah. Plus, we're not supposed to be congregating right now. I don't know if we
Well,
can
there is
by
that.
then.
Yeah.
it's not only that they're calling for a real hot summer. So fire.
Our season
they're-
has already begun.
Yeah, fire season's already begun.
Yeah,
Well,
no more outside work.
I would like to request that any ban be revisited annually rather than a blanket ban for every year. Because while, yes, everyone's concerns for this year with COVID and with an extremely dry and hot and dangerous fire season, this year it may be appropriate. Next year it might not.
That's fair.
Sure. Okay.
All right, maybe we can encourage colorful water displays instead of fireworks.
Hey, Ashland has that color run. Maybe we could do like colored paint and throw it from across the parking lot so we're socially distancing.
Jeez, what a crazy year.
I'm not touching any of this.
Balloon toss. All right. Well, I don't know if we need a motion to go ahead and pass that, or if just city manager direction from.
Yeah, just direct me. I will look into it and come back to you with what I find out.
All right. So everybody, do we have a consensus to banning of fireworks?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So go ahead and have someone appoint a facilitator for item 12.2, the discussion of proposed smoking ordinance. The idea is to have it revisited and possibly other smoking activities. Would like to lead that discussion.
I nominate Rob Lowe.
Love you,
That's
Rob.
fine. That's fine.
We need a vote or any nays?
Now, is it going to make a difference that Rob and I are history in about a couple of weeks?
You're fully effective till the end of May.
It's just for this portion of the conversation, Tom. You'll still be here at the end of that.
Yeah, you don't quit before then.
Hey, trying to save you, Rob. Sorry.
Thank.
I'm gonna go ahead and log off and let me know, or I'll go to the waiting room. So, you know.
Okay. So let's see. Do we have a copy of the proposed ordinance? I'll have to pull up your
No, we don't have a copy of a proposed ordinance. There's never actually been one. This has just been something that keeps coming up
Right.
before the council.
And
okay,
back. Go
let
ahead,
me
Tom.
let me butt in here. Please explain this to me. I'm not aware of what we're doing right now. Why Pete left? It must concern him somehow. So tell me what we've got.
Pete excused himself because should we draft a proposed smoking ordinance which prohibits basically all forms of smoke generation in the downtown, I think it could be construed as including the smoker at Buddy's.
This is the Buddy's deal. Okay.
Yeah, and that would involve Pete as the owner there. I think that's what his thing.
Yes.
Now we can choose not to do that and strictly make this a cigarette oriented ordinance, but
We already
that
discussed that state already has no ban or whatever.
I know certain cities do. I'm not sure about
Yeah.
the state.
That is where the conversation left off last time because the problem was with the cigarette smokers. Oregon Health Authority already has laws in place to keep them from smoking in front of the buildings. And so we chose not to have our own smoking ordinance and to let the Oregon Health Authority enforce those laws since they were already there.
So what we're trying to do is keep smoking off of Second Avenue. Is that correct?
Out of the downtown zone.
Okay.
You know, the downtown area has a defined area as a zone. And so
Okay.
you could easily make an ordinance that impacts just that zone. And you can, of course, exclude private residences and you can do whatever you want to do. But
Yeah.
yes, that's the
Danielle,
thinking.
you're a smoker. What do you think about this?
I'm wondering why it's coming back up. Again, I stay 10 feet away from any business while I'm smoking. I was the one who brought it before. There's already a law. There's already a way to fight this. If people are out there smoking in your business entrance, file a complaint with the Oregon Health Authority because those are the people who are already in charge.
So why
Well,
is this back on the agenda?
I think this came back on the agenda is trying to bring us to fight a battle. Wants to ban smoking, ban the smokers,
Mm.
and it has
Hmm.
nothing. It has nothing to do with it. That's his
Right.
If we do something with smoking and we don't specify, or even if we do specify, we're gonna we're gonna have to go after Long Branch and Lucky because they smoke in front of their business
Yes, I
or
do.
they smoke in the back.
Yeah, yeah, they do.
Bob overlooked the smoking area for Long Branch. So why doesn't he complain about that? The other thing is, everybody I know that buys meat from Buddies likes the smoke. So I mean, it's not. I don't know. I just don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And
I,
everybody
I
else. And Rob, I want you were on the council back then too. You know what
Mhm.
was going on with. We were telling Pete to move his boats and all this other stuff, and see where I'm going with this.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so that's why I'm opposed. This is a renter tenant problem, not
Civil.
ours.
It's a civil deal.
It
It
is.
doesn't have
Right.
anything to do with city.
Yeah. I believe that this proposed smoking ordinance, the intent is cigarette smoke. I don't think when it's been brought to council, I don't think it was
Yeah.
intended to be any more broad than that.
No, it wasn't.
So I would prefer to keep that focus. Um,
Yeah.
Now the question is, do we want to be more stringent, like Central Point and Grants Pass are, and just flat say no smoking in the downtown zone, and that means period. Um,
well, we have our court coming, so we could actually do that in court.
yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
And I gotta tell you, I being a business owner right next to the car, they
Yeah.
are out in front of the shop all the time.
Yeah, and
So
yeah,
I would like it.
I've heard
How
from other
many
business
butts are?
owners, yeah, who feel the same way. Um,
And I know
uh,
that Stacy Macy was complaining about the same thing.
yep.
She says that they are constantly cleaning up after people that just smoke, throw them on the ground.
Hmm.
And I'm sure they're doing that at Janet's. I'm sure they're doing it at the laundromat. I'm sure everybody there, not just Long Branch and Lucky's, um, people, they throw them on the ground.
And
Okay,
secondhand smoke is established health risk. I mean, that's not a I don't think anybody can argue that. So, to somebody like, let's say, Janet or any other business owner, if they're having to experience that on an ongoing basis, not only just, just uncomfortable, but it is dangerous.
okay. So I have some rebuttals to that.
Sure.
One of the reasons you're finding cigarette butts all over downtown is because there is no ashtrays downtown. And typically smokers will put out their butts in an ashtray if there's an ashtray available, but there are no ashtrays. And that's something that SOU found when they tried to ban smoking. Was one of the chief complaints from smokers was you removed all the ashtrays. So you can't then yell at us for throwing our butts on the ground or in the trash cans when you remove all of the ashtrays. Now,
Okay.
the other
Let me-
issue as far as smoking in front of people's businesses and Central Point and Grants Pass, I invite you to go and look at the statistics and find out how enforceable those bans are. You would have to literally have a code enforcement officer following around every single proposed smoker in the downtown area and making sure that they're not smoking within that zone. If you think it's unenforceable for fireworks,
Mhm.
it's really unenforceable for smokers. And most jurisdictions that have tried to ban smoking have found out just how unenforceable it really is.
I agree. I would love to do it. I would love for them not to smoke on Second Street in front of all the businesses. But first of all, when we get the court system up, do we want to flood it with somebody, throwing a butt on the ground? I don't know. Uh, Tony's been, I'm sure, cleaning up a lot of this stuff for as long as he's been here. And we've all heard complaints from Stacy Macy's nonstop. I go get my hair cut down there, and that's, she's trying to keep it a pretty downtown. I think Janet is, Bob, Jan, they're trying to do the same thing with the people that they've got. But unfortunately, bars, people smoke at bars.
And if there's people smoking in front of the bars, they have smoking areas in the back. Call the authorities, file a legit complaint, and the Oregon Health Authority will fine them. And if the saloon and Lucky's get enough fines, they're going to self-enforce.
I agree.
I agree.
So it sounds like you're still not in favor of smoking ordinance.
That's what it
So-
sounds like.
We're just going to continue on as we have been. Is that correct? Nothing's changing.
Well, here's what I would like to suggest. This is to borrow Daniela's carrot and stick metaphor. It wouldn't hurt to put up a few signs downtown, just encouraging people to please not smoke. You know?
Rob, I have one on each side of my thing.
Do you?
They stand right in front of it.
Well,
And
that's
Yeah.
great.
I need
Yeah.
yellow.
Now I'm
The bar
disappointed in
says no
humanity.
Uh,
Okay, well,
Yep, smokers are going to smoke. Doesn't matter what's there. When you see them walk out of a business or get out of their car, that's
yeah.
usually the first thing they light up.
Well, I mean, is it a bad idea to consider maybe we should put some ashtrays out, but not in front of the bars, just in like other locations?
Ashtrays may help, and trust me, I'm one of the people that gets the most angry at people who throw their butts on the ground. It makes us all look dirty. It makes us all look bad, and this is the kind of thing that brings up these ordinances because people can't be clean smokers.
Yeah.
That's in the Army. They teach you field strip your and you put it away where it belongs.
Yeah.
So it really does irritate me that people are throwing it on the ground, and maybe ashtrays are the solution.
Well, I
Right.
would
Thing,
be,
though,
I had a
they're not supposed
contractor
to
working on
smoke
my
within
job.
10 doorway.
There was
And I
never a
don't
butt on the
think
ground. He put them out and put them in his tool bag.
I
they're not
wouldn't be
supposed to smoke
opposed
within
to
10 of the doorway. So
Right.
there is not any space on Second
Yeah,
Avenue.
that's true.
Yeah, where are you going to put it?
They can smoke.
That's true.
There doesn't need to be ashtrays. They can go across where there's no doorways. But
We
there's
could
no,
put one like in front of the city park. I
Yeah.
think we far enough from everything and enforce. I'm sure we have an ordinance against littering, and if somebody does toss a butt on the street, fine them for littering.
Yeah, good
You know,
point.
assuming we
point.
get a code enforcement and we have a court, and maybe that will help encourage people. Hey, use the doggone ashtray.
You might, in other words, just tell them you might want to pick that up.
Yeah, why
Put it
don't
in
we
your
have
pocket.
Tony order another one of those planter type things, but have it, configured as an ashtray, sand, gravel.
But Rob, I don't think it's in the budget.
There you go. Thanks. Ha ha ha.
Sorry, Rob.
Okay, that's my 2 cents.
Okay.
So, are we moving on? Are we in agreement? We're not going to go with an ordinance.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Okay, bring
Leave
Pete back.
everything the way it is.
All right.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, are you back?
All right. How'd that go?
Um, it went round robin.
Okay, good.
We're not going to go forward with an ordinance at this time. We're going to look at a public ashtray over by the city park, centrally located, and see if that helps somewhat with the littering cigarette butt downtown.
All right. Good talk.
Yep. It was
I don't think people are going to cross the street to use it, but it's worth a shot, right?
well, no, but I
I
think
will.
Janet Janet's right that there is nowhere on Second, I don't think, place. So,
All right. Well, thanks for discussing all that.
yeah.
And, we've got city manager report, mayor comments, council comments. So thinking of things you want to share with everybody and the community. So city manager report, please, Jessica.
Yeah, I think I've peppered all the news that's fit to print throughout our meeting. Um,
All right.
I finally have found a new clerk. He will be starting tomorrow.
Ah,
Cool. Is he a
Yeah.
local person?
Um, sort of, Thames Valley. But
Oh,
he actually
that
lived in
counts.
Gold Hill like 20 years ago, so he's familiar with the
Cool.
town.
Oh, good deal. Good deal.
that's news. And anything else, Jessica?
No.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for all your hard work the last
Mhm.
6 months. Mayor comments. Um, I like that we're still making progress. Everybody's taking the time to learn new technology and having the attendance conversation, and it helps us, helps the future, helps our new candidates come in. So love all the discussions, even though they're sometimes challenging. And and once the coast clears on all of our audit issues, and I'd like to invite everybody to send me their thoughts on what they've achieved the last year, and start putting a press release together to kind of commemorate what we've done as a team over the last year and a half together. So if anybody in their council comments wants to share any things they're particularly proud of, or you can email them to me, I'll make sure they get involved in the press release. Probably looking a couple weeks out on that. That's all I have. Any councilor comments?
Jessica, thank you. You've been working, getting all of these things figured out. I really want to see what your budget suggestions are. Um, I'm glad you decided to step up to this job. Uh, it's much appreciated. You probably don't hear it often enough, but we in this city, we have not had a city manager that has done what she has done in the short amount of time that she's done it. And that is a double job, recorder and doing city manager. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, Tom.
But
It's I've lived here for a long time, and I'm really happy to have a chance to help the city out.
I'm glad you're here.
So let's go in reverse order. Rob, any updates or things you're proud of?
Well, I'll tell you what I am proud of, and it's not my single-handed, but I kind of shepherd two things. The transient lodging tax. I'll tell you what, I think that is going to pay huge benefit to this town going. Sooner or later, we're going to land a motel or a hotel or something. And that is going to be a good day for our budget. So I really appreciate the fact that council supportive of that and that we got that in place. And I feel good about it. The Lampman Park project, I'm excited about. I've checked it out a little bit, and that's going to be fun over the next years, watching that develop. And it's a benefit for the whole community and at cost the city. And just as Tom and my tenure wind down here, I just want to say it's been fun and interesting. And thank everybody for working together. This is a great council. I've been on council not nearly as cooperative. So keep up the good work in the future with the student council. That's my
Right.
2 cents.
And Ron, I can't see you, but hopefully you're still there.
I'm here. I have nothing.
Well, thanks for spearheading the acceleration of Jessica as the city manager. Goes.
Yeah.
Nice work. All right, Janet, anything you're proud of?
Proud that I got to serve everything. did a good job hiring her.
All right. Well, and Daniela.
Well, I mean, I've gotten a lot done this year with the website, getting that up to date, getting that new in, and but the thing that I'm most proud of is actually the council in facilitating during this time when it was difficult. And yeah, we did have to move online, but I found that this council actually gave a lot of participation in learning new technology and adapting and doing what was necessary to be able to do this. And we should be able to carry this technology forward in streaming meetings once we go back to in-person meetings and getting more comfortable in doing that. And while yes, I'm proud to be able to have gotten it launched, I'm more proud of the council for being willing to participate. And I'm proud of our citizens in the budget committee in adapting and being willing to make accounts on things and doing what was necessary to move the city forward.
Sure. I'm
Yeah.
proud of everybody to kind of get behind goals, kind of focus all of our energy together. I'm still proud that we fight, and work to still be productive on
Mhm.
the topic. And Rob, do you have another thing that you're?
Nope. Nope. That's it for me.
Okay. Well, hopefully I can wrap all that up into some sort of press release, kind of commemorate, memorialize, been up to last. Probably work on that with Jessica. Do you have any thoughts? Think it's something over the next. So, no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rob and I are old. We're not dead, so let's not memorialize. Come on, come on.
Gone, but
It's a
not
positive
forgotten.
thing.
I've got a list of 30 or 40 things. So kind of fun. Maybe we'll share that at the next. We'll have add to that. Share the pride. All right. So if there are any other comments, make them known. Otherwise, we'll adjourn.
I actually have a quick question for Jessica.
Yeah.
It's for the website and for general knowledge. So we have an upcoming election, May 19th. Once those results are in, when
Oh,
do the
right.
counselors step down versus get sworn in?
Right. So the election is on May 19th. Our next council meeting is June 1st. I think that would be the day to do it because nice round date, then it's the following council meeting. Rather than have a special meeting, I say we just make it June 1st.
Sounds good. Well, thanks everybody for making the effort. And we'll go ahead and
Sure.
adjourn the May 4th, 2020 council meeting at 7:23 p.m. Have a good night.
All right, night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.